Welcome to the Atlanta SEO for Local Businesses meetup. I am one of your hosts, April Weir. We are here with Andy Simpson and Tricia Clements, and we are bringing you monthly SEO training and conversation around, helping you compete in your local market. And some of this is applicable to larger reach, but we're really focusing on local business here. And I'm just going to hand this over to Andy. Andy, welcome again. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, April. It's good to be back. Nice to see you, the people that have turned up. Hello. Okay, I'll crack on. Let me start So I'm going to be covering FAQ, schema, and jump links. Why? Because it's a very simple process to help your content jump out in the search results. And we're going to be looking at some live examples. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of the two. So what you will need today, but you don't need to, you can just watch and listen and then watch the video back, or etc. You obviously need access to your website because you're going to be doing changes to the content, the pages itself. We're going to use Notepad for the jump links. Simple Notepad, that's all. You don't need any fancy tools. For the schema markup, we're going to use a free tool, and there's the URL there for it there. It's a wonderful little tool. You can do more than just FAQ schema markup, but we'll look at that in a minute. And if you do have access to your Google Search Console account for the website you're looking at and editing, well, we're going to look at that as well. We're going to jump into Google Search Console and just give Google a prod to say, hey, Google, look, I've updated my site content. I'm going to have Google going off in the background in a second. No, I'm not. Good. So I'm going to finish. I'm going to do a live example as well.
Playing the Spotify playlist called This Is Coldplay on Office.
So I do apologize. Hey, Google, stop. Thank you. Sorry. I've got Google things all over the house, so I must apologize for that. So let's crack on. So I've got the obligatory This Is Me slide. So Andy Simpson, I'm married with 2 cats, Bart and Lisa. Not everybody gets the joke there. We used to also have a cat called Maggie. So they are the 3 kids from The Simpsons. My vet finds it very funny if nobody else does. My accent, I'm from Leeds in England. If you've got no idea where Leeds is, it's 200 miles north of London. So I'm not from London, like many people think I am. I've been doing this web thing for many, many years now. I've lived in the States for 7 years, and 6 of those years, I've been doing legal SEO. So all my examples are going to be very legal focused, but the techniques I am sharing will work on any small to medium, large website. So don't think it's just going to be legal only. And why it's legal focus is because I work for Digital Law Marketing, which is a legal agency, digital agency. And we do websites for attorneys across the United States. I tweet a lot. There's my Twitter handle. And last year I was asked by Darren at White Spark to take part in the 2020 Local Search Ranking Factors Survey. It's a really good read, and I was honored to be part of that process. So let's crack on. So last time we looked at your content using my Data Studio report that I created. And we were looking at the who, what, why, where kind of content, which is perfect for FAQ schema and the jump links and what we're going to add to your website content. So we looked at the Data Studio, and after that, hopefully, it gave you the ability to create some really good content. So you've got your content, you've updated your content, you've added it to Google, you've got it ranking on page 1 of Google for a particular search term, search query. But how do we make that listing then jump out among the rest of the search results? How do we make people click on our result? Because that's what we want to do. As an SEO specialist, I just don't want users I don't just want to rank on Google and appear. I want to make users click on my result. So we do that by using jump links and FAQ schema. 2 methods, very straightforward, very simple method. I I was actually saying to April earlier, it's a no win, no foul. If it works for you, then great. And if it doesn't work for you, then you're not going to get penalized. There's no it just won't work for you. But it only takes 2 or 3 minutes. So using this technique, if it works, then you're going to have a much better listing in the Google search results. So we're going to start with jump. Now we're going to start with jump links, but I'll probably say jump links differently to many people. So what are jump links? Jump links are these things, these links that appear under the page content. So if I clicked on one of those, it would take me to that particular part of the web page where that question or answer has been asked. It will jump to, because it's a jump link, it will jump to that certain part on the page. You get jump links by adding, now these are called, you got tags and anchors. So you add tags and anchors. And we're going to look at all this, so it might sound complicated to start with. We're going to use add tags and anchors to the page itself. So the example you can see here, if I clicked on how do drowsy truck drivers affect highway safety? If I clicked on that, it wouldn't jump to another page. It's not hyperlink. It would jump to the particular part of the page where that answer has been, where that question has been answered. Okay. The other good thing with jump links, they look fantastic on mobile. So this is the same results that we saw earlier on desktop. Can we just, let me just go back. So this is what it looks like on mobile. So we've got the buttons here. How do truck accidents, ... can defect. Now that actually you can, on mobile, you can actually move through those questions. And usually, typically you get maybe 3, 4 questions that you can actually see in the search results. And again, you can already see it's made my listing different to the people that are above and below it. What's FAQ schema? FAQ schema are these answers, these questions that appear again under the search result. Here we can see I've done a child custody law in New York. Again, it's making my listing stand out from the results that are above and below my listing. Again, trying to make people click through on my listing because I'm also answering questions in the search results, which will hopefully entice people to click through to my page. My client, it leads to a lead, everybody's happy. So this is the FAQ schema. We get FAQ schema by having the question and the answer on the page itself, but by also adding this complicated looking code. Don't worry, we've got a free FAQ generator to create this. We'll be looking at later. So we're going to put this code on the page itself. Again, looks fantastic on mobile, increases the footprint of the search result. Now, unfortunately, just last month, we used to be able to show 4 FAQ questions in the search results. And Brodie Clark, who's a wonderful SEO specialist down in Australia, posted this amusing tweet. So you can see the humor there. So now we can only now show 2 questions in the search results, but even though it's been reduced, it still makes your listing stand out. So some of the characteristics of FAQ schema were, you can see here, we could actually, if you clicked on the show more, you can actually show 10 questions in the search results without the user even clicking through to the website. That's all been taken away from us. So all these wonderful things that you could do with FAQ schema have all gone away. You reduce just down to 2. There's no more, show more, there's nothing. However, it still works. It still makes your listing stand out. So I would say all this has gone away, but still do it because it is very straightforward and it's very quick to do. Now you've only got 2 questions to focus on. I used to concentrate on 4, 5, 6, so I'd get that show more. but now it's only got 2. It's still worth doing. Some things to take into consideration with FAQ schema. Again, I'm not going to go through the list, but ones that I would draw your attention to. Make sure you have the full question and the full answer in your FAQ markup. Don't trim down the answer, because Google's getting sharp with this. It's going, you've not given in your FAQ schema that you're showing in the search results, you're not showing the full answer. So just make sure that the question and the answer is answered in the FAQ schema and on the page. Don't repeat it. Don't use the same FAQ. Just don't use it as an include and use the same FAQ schema for all pages. Make sure it's unique to that page. Again, Google's caught on to that quite quickly. The unofficial, the page to show FAQ schema has to be shown on page 1. Has to be in those page 1 search results. The other ones, now number 4, I can't explain at all because I've never seen a sticky local panel in my life, but I believe from what Brody was saying, sorry, before I forget, just want to give a shout out to Brody and Whitespark for, I'm sharing these slides from their talk, so I'm just giving them kudos. So a sticky local panel, I believe if a local panel on mobile sticks or stays at the top of the search results while you search through the other results, I've never seen it. Apparently that won't cause FAQ schema to show, so just bear that in mind, but I very rarely or have never seen it. Okay, so that's FAQ schema and a bit about jump links. So we're going to start with how do I add jump links to my content. This is what you're all here for. I'm going to use a live example. I've got a page. Let me just jump out of PowerPoint and let's jump straight into, just need to do that because I can't see my tabs. Let's just do that. Can you all see that still? Good, good, good. So I have a client page. Where is it? This one. Client in Los Angeles, attorney, wonderful client. And here's the content. So it's quite vast. There's a lot of questions and answers on there. And when in the search results, if I look for Los Angeles police misconduct attorney, there they are. There's the search results. And there they are, stuck in them, Taylor and Ring here. And there's nothing underneath there. There's no, I've not added FAQ schema. I've not added jump links. So they're just among, like everybody else's results, they're just among all the other search results. I want to make that stand out. Now, it's not going to happen in the time we're having this webinar. It takes about 4 or 5 days to kick in if it's going to work. But I'll come back onto that. So I go to the page. I'm using WordPress, and I'm actually using something called Beaver Builder, which is slightly, you'll notice it's basically WordPress. This works with WordPress. Don't worry if it looks a little bit different to what you might be used to. So I go to the page. I want to add the jump links to. So somewhere on here, I want to add a bulleted list of questions, which I'm going to turn into jump links. So I've decided I'm going to add a list of questions just under this paragraph here. So I'm going to take the questions from the page and I'm going to turn them into jump links. So I open my go-to tool for this, which is my friendly notepad. And I'm going to I'm going to create a list of questions at the top of the page. So I'm going to take the questions here. There's a lot of copying and pasting. So taking that here, that. And I'm just going to paste it into Notepad. This will all make sense in a second. So let's just take these questions. Some of these questions I did honestly find from my Data Studio dashboard, the how, the what, the where, the why. So please have a look at that again if you have time, just to help me out with the questions on here. And that's it for the questions. So there's my list of questions. I'm now going to create the jump links. Now this will probably all become clear at the end of what I'm doing here. So there's tags and there's anchors. So I'm going to create the tags and the anchors. So my tags can be the what. I'm just taking some of the words from some of the questions here. Look, I can't use what again. The tag has to be unique. So this one's about civil rights. So I can put in there civil section and bring law, Bain, and how our brutality, help. That's always a good one, help. I copy that. This will all make sense in a second, what I'm doing. I'm going to copy that and paste it. And then I'm going to create my tags, which is hashtag what, hashtag can, hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. And then I create my, where those tags are going to link to. Is that right? I don't know. ID, speech mark. No, ID equals speech mark. Copy that and put that in at the start of each word. And close the speech mark, otherwise it won't work. Okay, that's the hard bit done. Well, actually, yeah, that's the hard bit done. So let me take my questions and add them to the page. Here we are. I'm going to add my questions here. No, sorry, this video. So I'm going to edit the page. Again, this way it looks a little bit different to WordPress because we get highlighted areas, but you'll recognize the next part that's going to pop up. And I'm just going to add that list then above this video. I'm going to call it quick questions. Quick questions. And put my list in there. And I'm going to make that a bulleted list. So just delete that. Now what I need to do, just make that bold. I don't really need to give it a header. I don't need to style it in any way. I'm just going to make that bold. But if you want to make it a header 3 or something like that to make it look fancy, then fine. So and now I need to make these links to the particular question that needs answering. So this is where your hashtag comes in. So you copy the hashtag, the what, and the keyboard shortcut is Control-K to pop up the link tool and Control-V to paste that in there and then just apply. So the link to that is hashtag what. Okay. So really all I'm doing is, I'll do it the long way around, is highlighting the text, going to the links tool and adding there, the tag. So I just need to run through these. Sorry, just got 4 more. So just highlight, Control-K, Control-V, apply. Did that work, Sybil? Yes.
I'm learning lots of new things, Andy. This is the new, so I have done jump links, but I haven't done them this way. This is a faster way. I don't know, I did them the long way.
No, one thing I want to say, yes, good point. No plugin required.
Yeah. I
You
think
can get sometimes with WordPress, you can get lost in too many plugins and rely.
Yeah.
You can see this is such a straightforward method.
This is, and I don't know why I wasn't doing it this way.
Control copy, Control K. I only learned Control K last year or 2019, recently anyway. That was a savior. Anyway, so I've got my links.
Control K?
Sorry?
What is Control K?
Control K is, it brings up, like if you highlight something and do Control K, it brings up the links tool, add the hyperlink.
Got it.
I'll give you that one. So now I need to add where they're going to jump to. So if someone's going to click on that, it needs to jump to the appropriate part of the website. So all my questions, now this is important, really. My question is, that's a H2 header. So it's important. And I want my jump link to jump to that header. Okay. So I need to add the ID. I'll copy that to this header. So we've got to go into code mode. We've got to go into the code of the website. So we just go into the text view and we look for the H2 header there. See the H2? And all I do with my ID is go into the actual H2 tag and paste it into place. See that there? So H2 space ID equals, yeah?
And there's a place
all I-
if you're using Beaver Builder headings, there's a place in the Beaver Builder heading to pop that into.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm old school. I like looking at there. So now I'm just going to go down the page and look for all the other H2s because I know all my questions have got a H2 tag. So can just needs pasting into there. Civil. There. Civil rights, yeah. Copy that. Good. No, is that wrong? Yes. No. Section. Spot the deliberate mistake. Have I not done that one? Oh, that's the help. No, I have missed the H2. I've missed out due to nerves. I have actually missed out a few of my H2s. So ignore that one. Back up here, look, H2, my ID is section. That was correct with the civil. And I've got a Bain one to add. I bet you're all looking at it going, it's there, Andy. Oh, this is the Bain one. I knew I'd make a mistake doing it live, but that's how it goes. Have I missed? I know I have missed. And then let me just, while I'm here, because I can see it, and how can we help the ID there? I've missed off one. I'm sure I have. Section, I've missed it. Let's go back to visual. I've missed off, I think, the civil one, the civil. Or did I call that Bain instead? Oh, live edits. That Bain is that one. Section is, okay. That's probably where I've gone wrong. That one should be.
It's very brave to do live edits.
Well, you've got to live on the edge.
I know.
Living on the edge.
Well, it shows you, you know, not perfect. That's not the word, but you know, these things happen. Anyway, let me just publish that. So I've done that. Gone back to edit view. Let's publish that, and then it'll highlight in the testing. So if I just test those now, so if I click on that one, it should take me. Actually, I'm going to log out. No, I won't log out because I'll explain the problem that you get when you're logged in. So if I click on that one, it should take me to the question and the answer to answer that one. So that's the one that's not working. So section took me down to the what is a section lawsuit. How do I bring civil rights? How do I bring civil rights? And the help one should take me down to the if you're logged in, you may have noticed you can't see the actual header. When you jump down the page, look, if you jump down the page, you can't see the header where I've jumped down to. That's because of the WordPress navigation bar. But if I wasn't logged into WordPress, I'd see the header where I jumped down to. I hope that makes sense. So the one I need to fix is that one, civil rights. What can I do when it's that one? So if I just copy that, I copy and paste everything, folks. So and go back to edit that page.
I'm glad to see someone else using that notepad as much as I do.
Control F, control, there it is. There's the question. And there's the, if I go to text view, let's find it there. And let's find it. There you go. There's the culprit. That should be the civil. That's what threw me off. I didn't add the ID to that. So let's save. Hit done. Hit publish. Let's test it. That one. Boom. I'm going to log out. And then go back to that page. And there it is. Oh, and hit read. Also using something called Nitro Pack for page speed. I know there's all sorts of controversy there, but to make the page speed faster, and you've got to delete the cache for you to see it. So let's just hope you can actually see that now. Oh dear, live testing, live edit, admin, login. Did I actually hit publish?
I think so.
I did. No, I did. I don't mind. Anyway, I know it's there. I'm going mad. That's the one I wanted to test. There you go. That's some work. Right. So that's jump links added. So that's how you add jump links.
So when you add those jump links, do you then like make a list of what you added to use it for anything else other than what you're doing with the FAQ?
Well, these jump links are unique to this page.
Yes.
So I don't.
Like if you're going to do anything like a social media stuff or something that would jump right to that section.
You could do. So you would, if you want to jump to the what is section 1983, you would just copy that link there. And if you actually look at that URL, if I want to jump straight to that section, you'll see there, so you can see the hashtag at the end of the URL.
Yeah.
So I could take that. Good example. In social media or anywhere in Twitter, and it should jump, boom, it jumps straight to that piece of content on the page.
Okay.
Good. But for showing in the search results and blah, 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 then it's that, ignore what I just said for the past 30 seconds. Okay. So again, Google doesn't know I've done this. Google doesn't know I've refreshed the page. So I would go to Google. If I was only adding this, I would now go to Google Search Console and say, hey, Google, look at this page, please index it. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm now going to add FAQ schema to this page. And that's where the free tool, I think there's a link in the chat and in the meetup and everything else. I'm going to use this schema generator. So lovely, there's a lot of good tools out there, but I've stuck with this one because it does what I like. So I'm going to choose FAQ page. So from the drop down, you've got many different schema types you can choose from. We're going to focus on FAQ page there. And it says already, look, what's your question? So I'm going to get the question from the page in question, from the page itself. So I'm going to use this one. Can I file a wrongful death lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take the question. So I'm just going to copy that, Control C, and I'm going to paste it, Control V, into place. And then I'm going to get the answer. Don't worry about if it's got hyperlinks, it doesn't copy the hyperlink stuff in over. You could actually do that, but that's taking it to another level. I'm just keeping it simple. So you can take the question and we're just going to paste it into the answer box here. Sorry, I'm going to take the answer and paste it into the answer. And you can see automatically, look, on the left, on the right-hand side, the FAQ schema is already being generated for you. It's creating the code that you need to take and add it to your website. So that's great. So it's been added there. Now we know we can only show 2 questions now. So we only need to add 1 more question. So let's take another question from that page. I like this second one. What can I do if when, let's put that in there. What can I do? And then let's take the answer. Now, the only thing, not that this applies, but a little side note, FAQ schema does not like or breaks if you have, say I had it in something in that answer, it was in quotes. Just did that in case you didn't know what quotes were. Then it doesn't like quotes in the answer to remove any quotes. So for example, if this bit, oh no, what did I take? Say this sentence was a quote and I just copied and pasted it into place. Remember to remove the quotes from what you're pasting into the FAQ because you'll break the FAQ schema. So I just use them. I just use apostrophe, the little, yes. Or just don't use them at all. Okay, so I've got two answers there. I've got two questions and two answers. I've got the code on the right-hand side. I can validate it, and this is where it would break if it had the quotes. So I can just hit validate, and it opens up Google's structured data testing tool. And I can just, so it pulls it over here. I just hit the play button there, validate. No warnings, no errors. So I'm happy with that. I know it's going to work. Fantastic. So I go back. So I go back and copy this code. Yeah, so now I've copied it. I know it's stored there. I go back to the page that I want to edit. In WordPress, or you would just go back to your editor. You go to the, what's it called? The text mode. And you take the FAQ schema and place it above all the other questions. Everything, almost everything that's on that page. It wants to be at the start, above the questions and the answers. All right. Now, little side tip here. I want to add, say I want to add, it doesn't matter that this is not, you must put it here. I'm just going to put it above where it says quick questions. So if I go to the text view, I'm just going to find quick questions here. And I'm going to paste the code in there. So Control V, paste. There's the script. Just nice and short. And then if I go back to visual mode, all you see is a tiny little, that means there's something funky in the back end of WordPress, bit of code or something. So that's where the code is.
So when you said that's where you're going to post them, is that pretty much where you should post them, right above it, or is that pretty much the standard where you should put it?
The code really just wants to be above the questions that you've got featured in your FAQ schema.
Okay.
So I could have, if my questions were lower down, I could have included the code perhaps after this big paragraph or after this video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's let's just look at that again. Just pasted it in there, save, done, publish, Nitro Pack, purge the cache. There you go. So again, you can't look, we know that the code is in there, but you can't see it, even though in the back end, you can see the code where it's being. Now I've edited the page and now I need to tell Google that that page has been updated with FAQ schema. So you take the URL of the page and go into your Google Search Console account. Go to choose your client, paste the URL in there. Google will tell you what it currently knows about that page. So there, look, it doesn't know that it's got FAQ schema. So if I run a live test the live URL here, it should come back with it should pick up the FAQ schema here. Now this can take several seconds. Anything to tell you while this is happening? So once this has happened, back in the day when this first started working, you could almost see your FAQ schema appear under your results almost straight away. I think we did it in the when I did that meetup with you.
Yeah, that was neat.
It worked within a few minutes. It will probably, if it's going to work for you, it takes a few days. Those few days, I find it's probably 5 or 6 days for the search result to start showing that FAQ schema and or the jump links. So if you've added jump links and jump links only, the time scale's around about 5 or 6 days. So don't expect to see this immediately.
So, okay, so for this part, we were just putting that URL for the whole page in and then just hitting test live URL.
So there you go. That is incorrect.
Yeah.
But there you go. It's found. So
Okay.
the Google Search Console has found the FAQ schema, which is great. I can click on there. I can actually drill through and it's showing me the code I've just added. So now I'll say, oh, okay, thanks very much. Go back to the inspect and you just say request indexing. And it goes, fantastic, you've submitted that. We're going to take a look in the next several hours, days, minutes, years. It will do it eventually. So it's now going to have a fresh look at that page. You're not going to have to wait for Google bots to go back and index that page in another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay, so that's it. That's how you add jump links. And if you want to, FAQ schema. Let's just look at a few live examples to show you that it does work. So this one is for, so sorry, let me stop there. So what I'm going to do over the next few days, I'm going to keep looking for that search and seeing if this listing, what I'm expecting to see is either the FAQ schema to appear here or the jump, you won't get both. You don't get jump links and FAQ schema. Now, why I use both is one, because it's dead easy to do and add both. It depends on the query. Sometimes in the query, you'll get FAQ, you'll get schema, and some queries, I could get very geeky now, but some you'll just see the jump links. So I do have a listing that does show both. Can't show you that for security reasons. But anyway, so this one here, look, Charlotte truck accident lawyer. Why I was saying I want my listing to stand out above the rest. This guy has got his one box appearing for that search term, which is very annoying. So there's no 3-pack, there's just the 1-pack here, look, on the right-hand side. But my client, this is not my client is here. So I want him, if people ignore this listing, I want people to jump on here. Look, so these are my jump links that I've got on the page. Again, on mobile, there's a little trick for you. I don't know if some of you, if you go to right click, if you're in Chrome, right click and hit inspect, and you can choose the mobile view. And now this is almost correct what you would see on a mobile device. Sometimes it's not the definitive what you will see on a mobile, but it's as good as. So here I can choose Pixel 2 XL, and this is what my result looks like on a mobile. So here, look, here's my client. This is why I love jump links so much. Look at that compared to my competition. My result stands out, and this is the whole point of doing it. My result stands out in the search results. Okay, you've got Macy Boy who's at the top, but the number 2 below that, well, it's really number 1. But I don't want anybody else to click any further than that number 1 result there. That's why I add jump links. And plus, it's a good user experience for the searcher. So if you want to see that again, how I turn that into a mobile page, I'm on Chrome, I right click, I choose inspect, and you get all this wonderful weird code on the right hand side. It's this icon here that if you've never done this before, you're not going to see probably what I'm seeing. It's this icon here. Now this bar might appear at the bottom of your page. See the icon here that looks like, well, it's a mobile and a laptop. It's I'm pointing at the screen like you can actually see me pointing. Where my pointer is, click on there.
Yeah, next to elements.
it will default. If you've never used this before, it'll change to responsive. So if you want to make it look like what you're seeing on a mobile phone, just hit responsive, choose whatever phone you want. That's still the normal desktop search results. You just have to refresh the page and it changes what you see as a mobile experience. So now you can get a good idea of what your result looks like on a mobile phone. Okay. So let me just show you what I did for that example. I did exactly the same as I did for that accident, the police accident thingy one I just did, the misconduct. So let's look at that page. Nice big page of content, blah, blah, blah. You've got the what's, how's, cans, blah, blah, blah here. And then at the top, I've got the quick questions. I've got the list of jump links, bosh, down to, okay. So I've done nothing special. I timed it, because I knew I was doing this talk, I timed it, it takes around it took about 6 days for that to start appearing in the search results. Okay, so don't lose faith that it's not going to happen. It takes a few days. Okay, and then the FAQ schema. Now I know that for this, so I did child custody lawyer, New York. I have a client in New York here. They were showing 4 questions under their search. And then when this thing kicked in, just at the end of last month, I got reduced down to 2. There's no more underneath there. I got the 2 there. And they're animated. So when you click on the answer, you get the question there.
So one question, and this may have been something I remember from before, but so when you click on that and you've got the answer, is there a limit on how long, like you copied and pasted the answer, which was a paragraph. Is there a limit on how much, how long that can be?
It can be quite, now that actually, I think Brody or somebody published that just the other week. It escapes me, there is a limit. And what happens is if your answer is too long, now it goes ... typically like Google. And I think Google adds the more for you.
So if they click on that more, did they go to your page or where did they go?
Yeah, now you've just taken this to another level here, Tricia.
Oh, sorry.
In my answer, in the code that I added to the FAQ schema in that tool here, I added a hyperlink to the word more, so I would get it to appear in the answer. So my answer included HTML with the hyperlink on the word. I have added, that's not Google adding ... more. That's me adding ... more. Because what I'm trying to do there is encourage the click-through from the user. That's the problem with FAQ schema. You don't want to give the user too much so they don't click on the answer. They don't click on your result. They go, oh, you've answered my question. Thank you very much. What I'm trying to do is increase the footprint in the search results, like I did with jump links. So again, on mobile, this looks like, so if it looks like desktop there, you just refresh the page and there's your mobile view. So there's your mobile view. Again, it increases the size of the footprint. Hopefully scroll. Now this nonsense here, this is me testing using zip codes in title tags.
Yes.
The whole thing about ignore the ... after your title tag and just include zip codes and all sorts. Now that doesn't appear on a, if I was to look at this on an actual mobile phone, you don't see all that. But on this testing tool, you do see it. So ignore all the blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
That could be another subject. We could look at title tags and how to spam them out. But anyway, I think, one little thing. I was going to start with this little side story. The reason I started looking into jump links and making my listings stand out and things, I've got a client in DC, does MedMal. I praise everyone. I love them to bits. They're a wonderful client. I wanted to make their listing stand out. And then the FAQ schema came around a few years back, and I added FAQ schema to this MedMal client. I had 4 schemas showing under the result. And that was there for a few months. And then my competition, who is Wilson and good old Price Benowitz, they copied and did the same. So we had there were 3 listings there with FAQ schema. And then one day it disappeared, and it disappeared from everybody's, and you could not, for love nor money, you could not get FAQ schema to appear for that search term, medical malpractice lawyer DC. And it's not MedMal, because I've got FAQ schema appearing for other clients in other cities for MedMal. But for DC, they just decided not to show FAQ schema for any of these listings. We weren't doing anything wrong. We're not spamming it or anything. They just removed it. So again, I'm trying to stand out in the listing. I want to be the listing that people click on. So again, I've added jump links. So again, I'm standing out in the search results. I know my client gets lots of mobile traffic. So that's why, let's just do it one more time. I'm trying to make my client stand out when somebody searches on mobile. That's all I'm doing it for. Okay. So I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if Price and Wilson start doing that in the next few weeks, months, especially if they watch this video. I'll give you that one, guys. But this is a good example. These aren't jump links. These are site links, because this is the main URL. What I've got here, this is my personal injury page showing. So it's a page on the website where I can show jump links. Here, it's the main root domain name. These are site links. So these will jump to different areas of the website. They're not jump links. You can't add jump links to your home page, your main root domain name. Anything else? Okay, let's open the floor up to questions.
I have a question. So you were saying how you, at one point, you could do more, up to like 10, right?
Yes.
To 10 FAQs. If you were to do that, let's just say you wanted to put it on the page in case they brought it back, you were already ready. Would it hinder ranking or just showing the 2 FAQs like it does now?
If they brought 4, 10 back, you would just show 2. You would still just show your 2.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not holding my breath. They're not going to bring it back. If anything, it's maybe in the next few months, they might reduce it to 1. They might just take Google giveth and Google taketh away. So they might just take this whole thing away in the next few months, years, whatever. I don't know, don't care. It's just another, let's move on with what Google now allows us to do.
So if you have the FAQ and the jump links on a page, is there any rhyme or reason about which they pick, if they pick one over the other?
Good question. It can vary with the query. If you've got a good page, your page is ranking on page 1. There's a really, really good chance you're going to get your FAQ. If you're doing that, you're going to get your FAQ schema appearing. So it's a win either way. And you can see, how long did that take me? I know I made a mistake and blah, blah, blah. That probably what took me, if I was just adding jump links, probably took me 3-5 minutes. FAQ, another 3 or 4, 5 minutes. So again, I see FAQ schema on some searches. I see jump links. Now there's not controversy, because Brody has actually mentioned this. I've made my page better. I've added FAQ schema to the page. And I've actually started getting, with a few of those pages, I actually started getting featured snippets for that query. So whether I just ticked another box in the eyes of Google, then, I'll take it. I'll take the featured snippet.
Yeah.
But again, for other queries related to that query, I'll get the featured snippet. And where I can't get featured snippets, I've got the jump links, like I did for that DC med bal attorney. So it's, like I said, it's a win-win. If it works, then fantastic. If it doesn't work, I've wasted 10 minutes. You shouldn't, but I've never seen it not work when you're getting a page ranking on page 1 of Google.
And I'm wondering if it seems like it's probably helping you. Like if you weren't already on page 1, just having that there might bump you up.
If you're watching this and you're thinking about, well, I can't do that because my page doesn't have these questions on it, you're going to improve the page. You might be at the top of page 2. If you improve your page with content and answer some questions and blah, it might be enough to nudge you onto page 1. And then once you're on page 1, you can add schema and jump links and to improve.
But I mean, if you put it in, if you're on page 2 and you put it all on your page, it's not going to hurt you because you're not on page 1. It just won't be effective until you're on page 1.
100%. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was much better explained than I just waffled on about.
But adding
there's no harm, no foul. It's like do it, and if it works, then fantastic. That page, you might see yourself on page 2, and you think, oh, it's ranking on page 2. There might be other queries where you're ranking on page 1 for a similar query to. You might do the same query again and again and again. Oh, I'm still on page 2. I'm still on page 2. If you're not looking at your Search Console data, you might be surprised. You're actually, that page might be ranking on page 1 for different queries.
Excellent. This has been really, really helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a simple technique. It should be in everybody's arsenal. Just have it. It's not difficult. If it works, then great. I've seen some great results. I see a client's. I look at my analytics. Here's another side tip. I look at my analytics. I look at my organic traffic, and I look at the landing pages, and I look at all the top landing pages of the websites, because we know it's not just the home page that gets the traffic from the search engine results. Like it's services pages, it's products pages, etc. So I look at all the services page, all the organic landing pages that's getting a lot of traffic, and I go, can they have FAQ schema? You don't need an FAQ page to use FAQ. You just add some FAQs, the hows, the whats, the wheres, to that page, and add schema onto those pages that are that are getting a lot of traffic. They must be getting, I say they must be. They're getting a lot of traffic because they're on page 1 of Google. So make them look better. Make them stand out. That's the whole point of this talk. Make them stand out in the search results.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry, I get very carried away with this.
I love it. I love it. Anybody else have any questions? I know this was a lot of information, but wow, how incredible.
Just hit me. Best place to get me is Twitter.
Yeah.
So just follow me and I'll message you and I'll follow you back and we can chat. And if you get stuck, any question, I'll leave it. Obviously, I'm on the meetup group. If you want to leave some comments in the meetup group.
Yeah. I posted your Twitter.
If you're watching this on video, they say this all the time. If you're watching this on video, don't forget to like and share this video.
Yeah.
The like button's below.
Right. Yeah. And join the Remote Control Living Facebook group if you haven't, because that's where the hub for the conversation will continue. And we're at time. So if nobody has a burning question, I'm just going to say thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you ever so much, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.